All right, guys, no sooner than getting my 88 S4 back on the road and on its new suspension and wheels and all that stuff, tearing back into the engine, and I'm actually replacing the fuel injectors today. And I'm actually upgrading to a little bit larger injector. These orange ones that I already have pre-fitted to the fuel rail, they're 21 pound per hour injectors. The stock ones are 19s. And I'm not sure how old or if these are the original set, but I would like to try these ones. I've heard good things about these particular Bosch injectors. These are 4-hole injectors with a bit higher flow rate. My car has a reprogrammed ECU, the Porkin chips, so I think it'll work all really well with these new injectors that are 100% balanced and flow tested, and then also have a little bit higher flow rate than these stock 19-pound blue ones. So I'll just walk you through what I'm doing. I'm about half done. It's really a fairly straightforward upgrade and service. After you remove the strut brace, just 4 bolts there, then remove the air box, the air tubes, the left and right, and then the air box, of course, is held in place with 2 10mm nuts. You know, there's the threaded bosses that go through the box, then lift the box out. And after that, then you have to, let me get some light here, unclip the harness from the rail. There's 3 blue clips, the third one's in my little container over there. And then just kind of gently lift the harness out of the way, unplug the harness clips from each injector. Some of them, well, actually they all should have a metal retaining clip, so just be careful when you pull them out. And I use a jeweler's flat edge screwdriver just to pry each end of it, and they'll come out. After that, get your 19mm flare wrench designed for metal lines that have those threaded fittings. If you don't use this, you're going to damage the lines, and certainly worthwhile invested in a good set of these. And if you look at the fuel rail, here's the fitting that's on the flare end here, and that wrench, if you don't use that wrench, it's going to damage this and round it off. And what I do as well is I use my slim open-ended crescent right here to provide a counter force, so that way it doesn't actually bend this line, and it doesn't bend the metal bracket on the fuel pressure regulator, which is back here. So I hope you can see that. So that way it keeps everything nice and steady without putting too much force in any one bracket or part. And everything will go back in nice and square, and you don't want to have any issues. So once the front 19mm threaded fitting is off, then you move to the fuel line up here, the rubber line. I've actually removed the whole line, which is right here, and I'm going to replace it with a new one that I got from Porsche, which is here. So this whole line will be replaced. Now it's actually a good time to replace them. This is 55 bucks from Porsche, so not too bad. $60 or $62 with shipping to my front door. And after that, there's 2 10mm nylon nuts here that hold the rail to the intake manifold. And take those off. Be very careful that you don't drop them inside or underneath the intake manifold. So I always keep my magnet really close by, this guy right here. I always keep this really close by, so that way it could grab onto that steel fastener as it comes up to the top, and nothing falls in. And then after that, I just actually cleaned in this whole passage here. This area was really dirty. There was some flaking paint that came off the intake manifold, and then also the valve cover gasket had leaked oil and made a mess under here. So it took me about 30 to 40 minutes to clean this all up. I got my shop vac over here to help with that, so it's nice and clean. After, of course, you you lift off the rail with the injectors attached. Then you can, of course, clean it. So after that, then the installation is just a reverse, and it's fairly straightforward. The new injectors, I always put a little bit of PB Blaster on the O-rings, because this does not dry as you're putting it on the rubber, and it will not damage the rubber on the O-rings for the injector. So I just put a little bit, and that lubricates all the O-rings, top and bottom. And of course these are locked in place with these very cool locks that Porsche designed here. You can see them right here. So they snap into place. And then once you put a little bit of oil on each one of the 4 injectors, then it'll just fit in nicely into the intake manifold. And that'll be one side, and then the other side is a little bit more difficult because you have to remove the bracket, which is 3 32mm bolts for the whole throttle linkage, but it's not too bad. It takes a little bit more time, but it's really the same as the other side. And that's it. So that's the latest project. I should be done in about an hour or two, and then I'll fire it up and see how she runs. So hope everybody's doing well, and more to come. Take care. Bye.